how serious is their injury, how much time and effort is going to
So
be
the
required of
damage
this.
is what you're talking about,
And
right?
we're looking at damages. So,
Right.
you know, I tell clients, we want to work backwards. Okay. So let's start at a trial. Let's pretend I'm in front of a jury right now.
Right.
And I'm explaining your damages. And there might be things I asked for, and the judge says, Mr. Herman, you can't do that, you know, or the opposing counsel objects. So we want to look at the damages we can recover in court. You can get past medical bills, future medical bills, okay? You can get past pain and suffering, and there's a little more to that list, loss of enjoyment of life,
Sure.
et cetera. You can get those things in the future as well, okay? And then you can get lost wages, you know, things like that, okay? There are other damages you can ask for, but that's essentially what you ask for. So when I have that first meeting with a client and I'm evaluating their case, I'm going through those damages with them.
The injury, right?
What are your past medical bills? What are your future medical bills? How has this affected your life so far? How do you expect it to affect your life in the future? Where are we with treatment? How much has been done so far? You know, have there been surgeries? Have there been, you know, major injuries, fractures, real problems that got dealt with right then and there at the hospital? That's how we're evaluating that damages case. And then, you know, we're really, the biggest part of that is individualizing. I talked earlier about taking it out of the box for the insurance adjuster. If they see your client, just another person with a neck injury, they're going to put a number on that case very fast, and you're not going to like the number. But if you're able to make a few calls to the insurance adjuster early, explain to them some things about your client, things that other lawyers maybe aren't doing early on in a case, you know, you can really take your client out of the box for that adjuster, and now they're not just a person with a neck injury. They have some unique things about them, ways it's affecting their life. So I think that conversation early on is very important. I'm looking at coverage, I'm looking at damages,
And then what's the third one?
and beyond that, you know, I'm looking at the quality of the client.
We're also the liability, though, is what I'm pointing to. First of all, that's got to be there, right?
You have to have liability there.
Right.
I mean, and look, Florida had a law change a couple years ago. It used to be we were a pure comparative negligence state. What that means is they would just assign fault by a percentage. So you and I get in a car accident, maybe it's a little murky about what happened. We go in front of a jury. Jury says, oh, it's 60% one person, 40% the other person, has to add up to 100% fault for the crash. They would then say, okay, well, you know, Mike sued Danny, and Mike got 40%, fault on Danny for this crash. He can get 40% of whatever damages he was able to prove to the
Right.
jury.
How much is it their fault? Is what he's saying. Like, it has to be someone's fault, right? It can't be you did something stupid, you got injured. Like all these things have to be there, right? So
Correct.